And we are live on the United Public Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM New Orleans and 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast. How cool is that? And we are being live streamed wherever podcasts live, including my YouTube channel. So go there and subscribe. To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps on this side of the veil, welcome. And I also welcome all my fellow experiencers and brothers and sisters in Christ. All are welcome here. This is Father Shawn's Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Father Shawn Whittington. I'm an ordained Catholic priest with the United States Old Catholic Church. I'm the spiritual director and fully professed brother with the Old Catholic Benedictines of Immaculate Mary. I'm a team member with Society of St. Benedict. And yeah, I'm co-founder of GhostBegone.biz and that guy on Eli Roth Presents the Legion of Exorcists, which is still streaming everywhere. I just had a fan send me a little advertisement from France. He's a fan of mine in France who's watching the show there and says all his horror buff fanatic buddies love the show. So that's great news. The world tour of the show continues, so that's very, very good. I still get a kick out of that when I hear from fans and followers of Eli Roth Presents the Legion of Exorcists. You can catch it on HBO Max streaming, Travel on Demand, Travel Channel on Demand, and then every other streaming service is carrying it if you haven't caught it yet. If there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-be-gone.biz. If you go there to visit, there's a lot of cool things to see. Both my books are there, God, Ghost, and the Paranormal Ministry, and God, Ghost, and the Paranormal Ministry 2. If you buy the books off of Amazon, they will be a little less expensive, and they also come in an audio version and Kindle. But if you get them off at the website, they leave my office here. I autograph them, and they arrive to you in a beautiful house blessing kit. And you never know when one of those is going to come in handy. Another awesome thing about getting them off of the website is part of the proceeds of every sale of every copy of my books goes to support St. Jude and the ASPCA. How cool is that? You get to help some of the neediest children on the planet and the animals too. There's a place on there where you can make an appointment to speak with me about your spiritual issues, and my online course is there, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare. You can enroll in the course right there. It's open enrollment now for the fall 2025 class. You can enroll right there on the website. If you'd like more information about the course before making that type of commitment, you can reach out to me. We'll talk about it and see if the course is right for you. It's one of those courses unlike any other out there in the industry right now. It's for all you true warriors for Christ that want to learn how to draw your line in the sand, make a stand, circle the wagons, and put up a good fight, perhaps the fight of your life against, God forbid, true evil, if that ever comes calling. That's the course for you. It's a 12-week online college level course, and all my students that graduate get a stunning diploma, certificate of completion suited for framing, along with some other very special blessed items that you can only get from yours truly. So that's my song and dance, brothers and sisters. Before I bring out my awesome co host, my permanent co host, and paranormal partner in crime, I want to give a big, sincere, from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry from both me and Heather Leigh Landon, PhD, doctor. She had oral surgery yesterday, and today she is just struggling, even being able to talk. I've been there, done that. So God bless her. I told her take the day off. We'll reschedule her as soon as I can. But that gives me an opportunity to make a really big announcement that I'm going to wait until I bring my co-host on to make, and then her and I can talk about this big surprise we have for everybody, and we'll get you ready for our big show next Friday, which is Halloween. We will be live on Halloween, and that'll be with Susan Ahern, free live on air psychic readings. But there's a lot of more Halloween surprises in store for everyone on that show. So mark your calendars, and that's next Friday. So without further ado, it feels like I've known her forever. I love her and respect her. She's super cool, and she's a lifelong paranormal experiencer, and she's the owner of Stellium Books, my publisher, and my good friend, and my co-host. I don't know what else to say about her. Um, so, brothers and sisters, please give a big, warm Paranormal Ministry family welcome to the one and only Annette Munich. And I don't see you. Are you there?
I'm hiding behind you.
There.
There I am. Wow, my face is so huge. Cut it out.
Let me
What did
cut it.
you do?
I don't know. Let me. I've been messing. There
Thank
we
you.
go. I've been messing with the computer today. Let me tell you something. When we make our big announcement here in a few minutes, I will pull up what you sent me, and I can't shrink it down. People will get the gist of what is on the screen, and I've been pushing buttons and going into different sections of the StreamYard studio here, messing everything up. So I don't want to mess it up any worse and just we just go away. So it is what it is. I should know better, but yeah, I've been messing around with the computer today, so we'll see how it goes. But
And
what
now
is
it's the
going on with
one.
you? You look so pretty today and relaxed and happy and
I'm
not as
very.
stressed as I am.
Why are you stressed?
Are you ready for? Should I just dive right into the to everybody going TMI Rev TMI? Should I
Go
just go
diving.
for it?
You could go diving.
Okay, here's the story. Um, okay, here's the big announcement.
Okay.
You and I have a book coming out that's going to be out next, available on sale next week, Halloween Day.
Yes.
And I'm going to pull that up here in a second. But I really had a rough time writing this book. As soon as we started, and I had already began work on God Ghosts in the Paranormal Ministry 3, which I took a break from to help you with this book. And it was your baby. It was your idea. I loved it. We both have worked hard on it. We co-published it together, wrote it together, I should say, and we got some awesome contributors that also contributed to the book. Without even having read it already, there's been uh, three producer friends I know that I just told them what the book was about and how it was put together, and they loved it and said that book should be a series. So I'm excited to get it out there, see what it'll do. Most importantly, I'm excited to see how many people it may help that are truly um, having paranormal issues in their life that they're having a rough time dealing with. So that'll be good. But what happened was, man, paranormal activity has been off the charts here in my home. I live in a haunted home. Many of you know that, but I mean really, really off the charts. I mean, I can be standing right at my front door and get a knock and open it, and there's nobody there. I can be standing right at my front door, and there's the doorbell. I open it up, nobody's there. My wife hasn't seen my doppelganger here in the home, and she couldn't remember the last time she'd saw it. And usually it's right here where I'm sitting now working at my desk. And then that apparition is always followed by the apparition of a small child that comes out, walks through our house and out our back door. And I've got that apparition in a photo in book one. But that's it. So now my wife has actually seen me three times in our hallway, twice walking away from her and once walking at her. And she's already so freaked out having seen me two other times and knowing that that's the doppelganger. By the time she does one of these, adjust her glasses and winks, it's gone. And this was the one coming at her. But she never says this to me. And even she walked into the kitchen the other day and said, "Honey, there's some really weird things going on in the house." She never says that. So here's the plan. We got the new book coming out. I'm going to promote the Dickens out of it. See, that was a Dickens reference to Christmas coming up. I'm going to promote the dickens out of it and take a break from book 3 for a couple of months. And after the first of the year, if you're think you can handle it, because I got it, you're my partner in crime, paranormal crime here. You're the one that publishes my books. You experience that stuff too. I got to make sure you're ready to go, because she said once you start book 3, get her done. Get it done and get it done, so that whatever's going to happen is going to happen and we're done with it. Because when I stop writing, things calm down. Why, I don't know. Now, here's a theory, and then I'm going to let you talk because I'm getting hoarse already. I've been really sick. I never get sick. Um, Out of the blue, I start getting these like hives all over my face, and my face is itching so bad that it's like I want to tear my hair off. I haven't been able to shave or color my beard in like almost a month. I've been wanting to just rip my skin off my face. Um, I go to AI, of course, and AI tells me I have either beard itch or fungal acne. I call my doctor up. She says, "Well, I'll send you, if that's what you got, I'll send you something for it. I should see you, though." I said, "Send me anything. I'll see you, but send me something now." Well, that medicine she sent me didn't work. And my face got worse. It was starting to welt up and get all red. And it started to spread other places, if you get my drift. And that started to scare me. And I'm very prideful of my personal hygiene. I always wear clean clothes, clean underwear. I clean all the time myself. I'm a very clean person. So I'm freaked and I know what it is. So I finally go see the doctor again, and two doctors come in and look at me. They don't know what this is.
It's cooties.
And Sharon's right there in the doctor's office with me. She goes, he doesn't go out and he never goes anywhere. He's not doesn't got a lover out there somewhere. He doesn't go anywhere, and I don't. They don't know what it is, so they give me some strong antibiotics. They give me a real strong oral steroid, and then a real strong steroidal cream to put on any areas that might be getting out of hand. And there's been a dramatic turnaround for the better in the last few days since my last doctor visit. But I know what it's all from. So I'm talking to one of my friends who's a psychiatrist, and I talk to her like twice a year. We just sit down and talk for an hour because I want to make sure I'm not going crazy, because you don't want a crazy exorcist coming to your home. And I also have a psychologist friend who I talk to. But we're talking, and she goes, "You know what?" And she'll never admit that she's into the paranormal, but whenever we talk about it, she is so knowledgeable. But she'll never admit, being a doctor, that she's all into that. She says, "You don't have classic poltergeist stuff going on in your home. Close and similar in ways, but not classic. And you're not a young teenager going into puberty that could be projecting this stuff in a telekinesis type way." She goes, "But you know what?" I go, "What?" You are a you may be manifesting it because you tend to worry a lot. You wear your emotions on your sleeve. She knows I'm working a couple of really ugly cases right now, and I take all that on. Sharon's been having some medical issues associated with her long battle with three very rare forms of cancer, which I believe are tied to a severe demonic attack back in the day. So I am worried about a lot of things. Was worried about this book, worried about the next book, worried about everything that's going on. She says, "You may be manifesting this, because why would this doppelganger now be out of the room and looking like me, not this other child apparition, and walking around?" So I'll just throw that in your lap and you can take it from there.
Well, that's a very interesting story. Um, I had a very little bit, and I've had activity that happened to me preparing books before. Some of it pretty profound.
Yeah.
I wrote about a little bit of it in the book
Oh, cool.
of things that happened because, and I was at Michelle's podcast the other night, and it got brought up about how you can walk into a situation and now you become part of a story. And I'm like, hello, because that happens to me. And I'm working on the book, and my personal feelings are that a lot of times these things don't want their story going out there, and on books like we just did right now with prayers and different ways to manage or get rid of your paranormal situation, they really don't want them to go out there. But as soon as I put the book out and it's out in the world, it stops. That's what makes me think it just wanted me to not put the book out or slow me down or whatever. Although I did have one case where the spirit stuck around for a while, and that was that little girl ghost. And she came with a book, old school style, in the mail.
Wow.
And we got Carl is here, Carl Supp, he's in the book. Susan is here, she's in the book. You are going to be so just amazed at how beautifully everybody wrote. And
Well, I'll just go down the list here that I read off of just the cover, and then I'll share the cover here in a second. Susan Ahern, I love her. Bobby J. Gallo, I love him. Carl Supp, I love him. Trisha Morris, I love her. Father Ken Torres, I love him. Kelly Schaefer, I love her. Rick Garner, love Rick Garner.
yeah,
And Dr. Heather Leigh Landon, PhD, who was supposed to be here today but
oh,
is under the weather with her oral surgery. All these people contributed articles in the book.
yeah, and
I can't wait to read those articles. Those are gonna I know they're gonna rock.
they really do. And some people gave kind of history into, these different kinds of phenomenon and really added quite a bit. So, okay, Infinite Joy says, what is the title of the book? I'm going to buy it when it gets released.
Okay, let me see. Guys, if you lose us, I apologize. Let me see if I can get 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 the book up here. Okay.
It's
I'm going
called
to
Help Me, I'm Haunted.
Here we go. You guys ready? I'm going to take uh it's behind
Um,
us. Let me take us out of here real quick. They
we have for it, but it gives you an idea. But the idea was, Infinite Joy said, great title. Thank you. The idea was um, that we get a lot of questions. We usually have quite a bit in the mailbag, and we get questions from all over the country, even from time to time from outside of the country. But the idea was to combine some of this and put it in a book. And then we included some of our regular guests that our audience knows and loves and respects, and let them put their point of view on it. After all, it's a paranormal. Nobody knows all of it. They sure don't. So it's pretty interesting, and it shows, different ways to look at things, a lot of prayers, a lot of things that you can try and do to manage your situation. I have had different, okay, back in the day when I had my own radio show, I got a lot of email and people asking me to help with their cases. And what I mostly did was try to help them to not let it get worse, kind of managing it, boundaries, telling them things, be careful, don't do this, don't do that, whatever, because these are the things that could make it get even more intense. So that's kind of my angle on a lot of things. And then Father Shawn, he has, of course, a totally different approach. And our guests, we have regular guests that are phenomenal, very knowledgeable, have a lot to say. I thought it was very interesting. I was trying to make a book that would be a great experience for the reader, where they felt like they got some stories, some knowledge, some tools in their tool chest to try to use for themselves. And also when it was so intense that I need help. I just need help, you know.
Absolutely.
And
Well,
I
that
found myself writing today because I just finished writing today. I'm so happy. We worked so hard on this, and this was like,
we did. Wow.
I'm usually working on somebody's book, but I'm not writing it along the way as well. And I wrote today about something that I was thinking about, which is how often it happens that there's a haunting, and um, in the relationship or in the family, it's all directed at one person and the other person's not experiencing anything. That happens a lot where it centers around someone. And I put different reasons why that might happen, but I also think sometimes um, if you have spirits that are kind of ill intentioned, they might be trying to mess with your relationship. It starts making the one person look crazy, and then they're resentful of the other person that doesn't believe them. I get a lot of stories like that, and it happened to me, where it's like two different experiences in one home.
It's interesting you bring that up because I'll tell you how it's. I can't even tell you how many cases I work where it's a married couple. One believes in the stuff, one doesn't. Um, and it could be either one of them who's experiencing the issues and the other one isn't. But the one that isn't, whether they are a believer or not, and usually even more so if they're not a believer, they don't want they don't want any part of what's happening. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to be any part of it. If you want to talk to my husband or talk to my wife and help them with their issue, I'll say a prayer for you. Good luck, but don't involve me. And that's sad because part of my approach is I need the whole a lot of the things I deal with. That's the number one agenda on their you know crappy list of to do stuff is to break up the family unit. And so I
Mhm.
need everybody in the household to come together as a family and fight together, support each other, believe each other, believe in each other, believe each other, and support and be together. And when I can't get them all together, it just makes it really, really difficult to battle these things to get them out of the house.
Our friend Miss Camilla Rosa said, yes, that happened to me as a small child, and no one else noticed anything. And, there are a lot of stories like that. And it's difficult. And I know in my situation with my ex, and he was kind of supportive. He'd be like, I believe you saw something. I believe that you believe you heard something. It was kind of condescending until one day we were in the kitchen and we had a counter that came out like an island, and we were talking, and he was standing on one side of it and I was standing on the other, and he put his keys down and his keys went
Yep.
like 8 inches, and he's like, oh my God, did you see that? Oh my God, did you see that? Oh my God, I can't believe that happened. I'm like, right? I felt like finally, to me, keys going like that, that's nothing. I have
Many
had way worse stuff happening than your keys go across the counter.
well, identical your situation. I've seen many like it, and sometimes they attack the person who wasn't the believer, even though they try and make you feel better. Like I believe you saw it, I believe you
Right,
believe it,
right.
but really they may believe it and not want to admit it, or they may truly just think you're full of it and don't want to tell you that. But they'll come under attack and they won't even realize they're under attack. And now you have this, your significant other almost attacking you also, like kind of insinuating this is all happening, you're the cause of it, you
Right.
brought this on us, whatever it is you're doing that brought this on us, stop doing it. And they start blaming you and accusing you and attacking you of being the cause of all of
Right.
it. And then things get really, really bad.
Right. It's really a lot of cases, and that's something that we don't really talk about. And I actually brought that up in the book and addressed that because it's not unusual for people, even in very getting to be intense situations, to have not everyone in the house experiences it. Not everyone in the house is on the same page. Um, like you're saying, kind of like a sucks to be you, it's your problem deal. And really difficult, really difficult.
Yeah, that's probably three. There's a few things there that are, to me, the worst things that can happen to me, and then I live with them. I try not to tell people that it's time to move, but I have done that before, and that hurts. I also have had people's relationships, long time marriages even, just dissolve and the couples go their separate way.
Yeah,
Usually there's a child involved, and like the mother is like, okay, fine, you know what? I need to get my child out of this situation.
right,
They were finally, something got its talons in my child. Now this gentleman, this priest, has come here and got this thing to release its grip on my child. Now he's telling us what we need to do from here, and you don't want to be a part of it anymore because you're so freaked out. Fine. And then this is what I tell them afterwards. Yes, I'll continue to pray for you, and I'm so sad that you guys are breaking up. Now I may be saying this to the husband also, who's getting ready to walk out the door. This is terrible. I agree, but at least all three of you will be alive and
yeah.
breathing and on this and walking on this earth to enjoy another day of life. But together is not working, and staying here is not working. And now that I've brought some type of closure to this somewhat, and your child is out of the grasp of this, um, that's the most important thing here. So it's heartbreaking, but at least they're still alive. Um, it is what it is.
I have some different reasons of what would cause that. And one is that the one person in the house is sensitive, and they're like a unintentional medium. And whatever's in the area, they can pick up on it. And whatever's in the area knows that they can pick up on it. So they're a little bit drawing it to themselves because the spirit world can read their energy and tell they can see me, they can hear me. So you walk through life that way, and wherever you go, anything in the area kind of eventually starts coming towards you. That's a person that goes from house to house and they don't really have an attachment that's the same thing. They're picking up different things in the area of wherever they go. I do that. Then you have people that it might be hanging around them because they actually got something that piggybacked onto them. They went to, maybe they can identify it, maybe they can't. Went to a place, brought something home from there or whatever, went to the cemetery. I think there's activity in all cemeteries to some degree. Not saying you shouldn't go to a cemetery, but I do say in the book, don't pick up things and bring it home from places, say prayers for souls and then, you know, leave and go on about your business. And if you feel like something's around you, you can say, you can't come home with me. Um, So that's a piggyback thing. And then, like, if it centers around one person, sometimes they dabbled. They did the Ouija board or they did something and they opened up some kind of an invitation for something that came in. And sometimes it'll hang around a child because a child is very trusting and believing. And they come in, it starts with the child. It doesn't usually end with the child only, it starts there. But there's like a lot of different kind of ways that that can happen, but it just is really kind of crazy when you have one person saying this is getting really bad and I need help, and the other person's not experiencing anything. And you're right, it can break up, and I think sometimes it wants to break up your family.
Oh yeah, that's the number one on the agenda. And it's funny you bring up cemeteries, and I have had cases where people have come to me and described a particular haunting that they're having in their home, and they're living in like a home that was built by uh, their family many years back in the day, and it's been passed down through them. And they would get back to me and say, in the bottom, in the attic, or the bottom of a closet that we don't use anymore, or in the basement, I found my great grandfather or great grandmother's old journal. And they described how the same type, they used to experience the same type of stuff, but they couldn't talk about it. So they put it in this journal, which now this journal is holding on to this energy and still in the home. But back in the
Interesting.
day, before they had city parks, people went and on the weekends and had picnics at cemeteries and
Right.
used to sit right down on their families'
Yeah.
grave sites and have picnics. And then that's when they started having, then eventually, I don't know what the reasoning behind it was. Eventually, they went and started having city parks where they wouldn't have to go to the cemeteries any longer. But these journals would describe how they originally brought something back from the cemetery and thinking it was the spirits of their loved ones. And then ultimately, and they encourage it. Okay, you think Uncle Tom or Aunt Betty is
Right.
floating around just watching over things, and you might think it's kind of cool. A little freaked out, but think it's kind of cool as long as
Right.
Aunt Betty's not walking around with her head in her hand, being all freaky. Um, but they're welcome. They're in a way welcoming it.
Yeah.
Not only were they followed home, they have this attachment, but now they think it's a family member because they brought it home from the cemetery, and
Yeah.
they're welcoming it, giving it strength. Um, and so I don't know what the exact reason why they stopped doing that. It became an unpopular thing to do, and that's when they had started having city parks. But these journals, I've had lots of people in these old historic homes that have been handed down over many generations, families, and the same families handed this property down. I tell these people, look around, look in the basement, look in old closets, look in the attic, try and find if there's any diaries or journals left behind from your ancestors that can maybe this has been going on for a long time, and that'll help me in how I want to approach this with you and getting rid of it. Because the longer these things have been around, man, they're dug in. They
Yeah.
are dug in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very interesting. So,
Well, I feel bad for Heather. I wanted she contributed to the book. I know her article must
right.
rock. Can't wait to read it. I feel bad for her. I know what that's like having oral surgery and not being able to hardly talk. Um, but it's there were a couple of things in Texas. She's in Texas now. Texas is very haunted. Not only is
I,
it a
I
huge
thought she
state.
went to, I thought she went to Florida or something.
Well, she was here for many years, lived here in Vegas with me. Not lived with me, but lived here in Vegas. She went to Florida. Recently, she relocated to Texas.
Okay.
And and I'm reminded of and we're talking about these old homes and stuff. I have a doctor friend of mine who relocated back to Texas where he's from, but he was out here for many years. He's a veterinary surgeon specialist. He moved back home, but then he got a wonderful buy, an opportunity dirt cheap to buy this historic location, which was an ultimate fix 'em upper. And so him and his wife move in there, no children. But it's one of those weird old plantation homes. It's kind of like split level, so there's like 3 or 4 stories to it. But there's this one room that was locked on like the third floor. And even when he bought the home, the real estate person said, um, I'd have to advise you just to leave that. That room was the only room left furnished in the home. The house came with the door already locked. We go in there, and it's like stepping back in time. So we just say, unless you have a reason to go in there, I wouldn't.
You know
Just
that
leave it the way it is. Yeah.
what
So
was
what
that
they did was
movie with Kate Hudson and they had that room up in the attic and it was down
oh,
in the south and there was
skeleton.
a
Was it
slave
Skeleton Key?
story skeleton key.
Well, his wife decides, honey, I love that room, but we own the house now, and she wasn't really a believer. He was. He didn't really want to say don't do it, because then she'd say why. But he kind of let her. Said, well, maybe nothing will happen. She said, I want to go in there and rearrange a little bit, and clean the room up a little bit, because we're going to entertain, and people are going to want to know why do we have this weird room on the third floor that's locked. So I want to go in there. Well, every time she went in there and took something out, or put something new in there, or rearranged the furniture and left, they may be downstairs 2 floors away watching TV or having dinner, or even sometimes with the front screen door on, and they're on the porch, and it would sound like somebody's in that room doing construction.
Wow.
And it would be so loud and so aggressive that they thought maybe somebody broke into the home. A couple of times he even called the authorities to come out, but they would go up there and they'd open the door. Whatever changes she made, it would all be changed back the
Wow.
way it was. And if she brought anything new in, it would be sat right in front of the door. So when they open the door, it's right there in front of them, like, here, get this out of here.
Wow.
So she quickly got the hint, and they didn't talk about it anymore, but she stopped going in this room. Well, what happened after that was he loves to go on these long walks. It used to be a plantation, and he would go out and take these long walks on his property, and he would see this woman in period dress, like around Civil War times, who just walked across the land along this large grove of trees that are in a row marking the end of his property. She would walk. He really honestly thought it was a neighbor. That's how real she looked.
Yeah.
He'd wave to her. She'd she'd look at him, intelligent, never wave back. He'd wave again, sometimes call out to her, and he'd watch her. A couple of times she would just vanish. He says, "Okay, I'm not dealing with a real person." But then one time he finally actually saw her walk up to his back porch and into his home. And he's like,
Mm.
well, you know, they think she's probably the one that continues to stay and live in that room. And he did that. He said, I asked him, search around for an old journal, even if you have to go in that room. But when they would start searching around in other rooms, the attic, the basements, the shed outside, activity would spike up again. So they just stopped searching. As long as she's happy with the way things are in the room and they don't go in there, and he doesn't really mess with her when he sees her out walking the property, things seem to be really cool. And my colleagues will get upset with me when they say you shouldn't tell them just to go ahead and, if live and let live, if you will. But sometimes you just got to kind of go with the flow. And if you know,
Well, if okay, I'm going to ask everybody in chat because we love our chatters. If you bought a house and there was a locked room on the third floor and you were advised to leave it alone,
an old house,
an
historic home,
old historic house, would you go in? I know eventually I would.
Well, you got to go in, take a peek.
Eventually I would have to do it. At first I'd be kind of like creepy about it, and then it's like, well, I mean, what would it hurt to just go and take a little look?
Well, the first time you move the bed, bring in a new table, and change around a few things, then go out and lock the door. Actually, the one time I do remember the wife got on the phone with me and said, now we also realized why they locked the door. Because if she was upset, she would open and slam the door. And that's how
Oh,
you would know she was really upset.
oh,
So now that's why the door was, they figured that must be also why they locked the door, because she opens and slams it in when she's having a fit.
yeah.
But if that happened and you finally went up there and everything was moved back and what you brought in there was sitting right in front of the door, like, now take this out of here. Yeah, that would be and you don't move. I mean, he spent a lot of money to build this house back up to its former glory. Um and they you know
Well,
spent a lot of money and they lived there and they loved the home and he
I love old buildings. I love architecture. I love historic homes. I love all that stuff. But even if I went in there and I looked around, I probably wouldn't move around things or remove anything. I would just want to know what was in there. Like, I wouldn't be disrespectful, especially if there was activity in the house. I would just sort of have to see it. But I'm not going to go in there and arrange furniture or try to use that room. No. What do
well,
you
well,
Well,
what's
Camilla
interesting
said,
is
we got Miss Camilla. She said, I believe many ghosts are some form of demonic spirit pretending to be the spirit of a dead person to get attached to the living, and that does happen.
absolutely, absolutely. And Camilla would know. She's dealt with a little bit of that. Camilla is a student of mine. She passed the course with flying colors. I'm very proud of her. She's in
Sweet.
Denmark.
Yeah,
She's in
she's a
Denmark,
good one.
so she can't get the show in Denmark. I've had people reach out to me from the UK, from Ireland, Scotland, France, just recently, Germany of all places, Central and South America, but they can't get the show
Are you talking about the
Denmark.
TV show?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. We got Carl here. This is a pretty interesting thing for our crowd today. We found a hidden walled off room in a cousin's Victorian. It was a time capsule from 1890.
Wow,
And then we have Golden Cougar Wolf saying, I found a closet in my house walled off.
not good.
I had a secret room in one of my houses. I'm one of those people that um, there was a place that was available immediately and a really good price and a fixer upper. And there we went. We went in there, and I had 5 kids, and I needed the room, and I found a secret room in the basement where it looked like people were doing satanic rituals. And I found upstairs in the attic, it looked like strange symbols. They turned out to be sigils. And then the people told me that the people that lived there before us were devil worshippers.
Yeah, I have clients get weirded out with me sometimes when they see me walking through their house with a little step stool that I bring with me sometimes, and then I'm on top of it looking at the top of the door frames, or I'm in the closets looking at the door jambs and stuff. Now, what are you looking for? Many times, sometimes I'll tell them, I'll be honest, but many times I just will say, oh, just inspecting. But what I'm looking for is I've worked cases where they carve or burn or just draw these conjuring symbols inside the door jambs and on top of the door frames, and nobody knew they were there, but as
Yeah,
long as those symbols are still there, it's a constant, it's an opening, it's something that these things attach onto and feel welcomed to come in. So yeah, that's you're lucky to have found that, because many times they're put in places that are hidden and you never know they're there, and you can't figure out why your house seems to be
And
a
I
giant
was
mosquito light to all of these spirits.
I was the one that's actually the same house that we were in with my husband and the keys. That was there. And also a weird thing was on the property, I like to grow things, grow flowers and vegetables. And the tree looked like it was leaning away from the property. Everything I planted died, even bulbs. It was like the soil was sour. Um, and I had the most activity, which I'm grateful for because my kids led, pretty regular lives. Anything that they noticed was on a sporadic basis. But in that place, I even had stuff happening to me outside the home in the world. Yeah. And I definitely think it was for sure that was a situation where it was there when we moved in. And I thought, some yellow paint and lace curtains and put my angel stuff up, it'll be fine. It was a little bit more than that it took for it to get to be fine. But yeah, it was really a crazy experience. But that wasn't just a ghost story. I think that was because of demonic energy. And that basement, I would have to psych myself up to go down there and do the laundry. And then I would be like trying to keep myself like, you got this, you're okay, it's going to be fine. Nothing's going to happen. And that room was down in the basement. And every time I would be coming up with the laundry, I'd start off walking and confident, and I'd end up running and feeling like something was going to grab my ankles. Right now, I feel like the chills from that. Oh,
Well, next time we get Heather on, I'm going to try to convince her to take her team to Sugarland, Texas. I don't know how close where she's at now in Texas is to Sugarland, but I have a couple of clients currently in Sugarland where they're near some land that was back in the day a plantation, and then there was an original old prison nearby, and they would get most of them were black prisoners from the Civil War lent to this plantation, a sugarcane plantation, to work, and they would work them to death and throw them in this mass grave.
oh,
And
Lord.
then the plantation closed down. They built up the prison even more, and continued back in the day. Prisoners would die, and they wouldn't tell anybody, or tortured to death. They'd throw them in this mass grave. Well, not too long ago, they started to dig up the land because they started to build they want to build a big school. The school may already be built, and built a lot of homes. A couple of these homes, I have clients that live there, and their homes are haunted because they found 90 at last count, 95 remains
Oh,
of
Lord.
black men in
Good.
the ground there. Um, and that whole area is just super,
Sugarland,
super,
Texas.
Sugarland, Texas, supercharged with spirit infestation of all manners in that area. They used to open up the Ghost Adventures went to the prison once, but they've closed that off to even have anybody go in there and investigate. They don't care who you are, and you can't trespass in there. But I've got a couple of clients that live just adjacent to that land in new homes now, and
Yeah.
it's just not good. Um,
I wrote a bit about that too, how a lot of times, they build on really bad areas, sometimes over cemeteries. Well, here in Oklahoma, which I always find a way to be talking about Oklahoma, but way back in the day when they had that huge and really bad incident with they were attacking the black people. The black people had their own area and businesses. It started out as an incident in an elevator between a guy that was the elevator operator and a lady, and whatever started it from there, and it turned into a hysteria. But the point of it is, you never know it now. If you went to that area, it's all newer homes, looks like a nice little neighborhood. If they have a lot of activity, it's probably because of that. Um, I do say in the book too, sometimes if you know something really bad happened there, make a little monument, plant a tree with a plaque, a fountain, some statuary, a rose garden, acknowledge it. Another place here in Oklahoma, I'll talk fast, I see we're running out of time, uh, is Fort Gibson. And Fort Gibson, I went there and it's spread out. There's, the barracks over here, and then the field hospital, and then the armory, and then like the officers' quarters. Well, the town grew around it and through it, and people, they built newer homes in between the barracks and the field hospital. So there was a lady there saying that she sees soldiers on horses at night. She lives by the old field hospital. That old field hospital, again, I'm a little sensitive, but I don't call myself psychic. I don't. It feels like waves of dread coming out of that building into the street. You just,
Wow.
it's like, ugh, it feels like you're looking at it and it's looking at you. But you
And
know
it,
why people think, well, that's okay, we'll just build some houses here. You know, no, not a good idea. But they do that. So that's how a lot of people stumble into. And if you're not a history buff and you don't think about it, like to me, it's obvious. It's like you can see this is all part of one fort. Um, you wouldn't want to build stuff right here in the middle of all that, but what's the fun in that?
well, I want to make sure everybody knows what's happening next Friday, which is Halloween, the 31st. We will be here. We will have a show. Susan Ahern will be here doing free live on air psychic readings. But
Hey,
because
Susan.
it's Halloween, we have a lot of stuff going on, and Susan is one of the contributors to the new book. We have some surprises. I will plan on having you do a drawing again to give a couple of books away. I'll give a couple of books away. I'll give a couple of kits away. We'll have a lot of fun on Halloween night. So everybody don't forget that. I'm gonna take you out of here again real quick and show everybody the title of the book again. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna take you out of here. Help Me, I'm Haunted.
Help me, I'm haunted.
And that is going to be out on sale on Amazon on Halloween.
In
And I
paperback
will,
and Kindle.
very cool. And I will, as soon as I can get my shipment of author's copies here, they'll be available on my website. They'll just like my other two books, they'll leave here. I'll autograph them. They'll arrive to you in a house blessing kit. And I hope my prayers for this book. I wanted to do well for all of you, mostly you because you worked so hard on it and it was your idea. But for the contributors, I'm so grateful to them and I'm proud of them too. They worked hard to get their articles to you on time for the deadline you gave them. But I want the book to do good for people who are really out there struggling.
Right,
And you know better than anybody, my mailbag is
right,
constantly filled with
right,
people who have reached out to me needing help.
right,
And I'm only one person. I can only help so much. And I fall behind and I because it is what it is. It's just so many. So
right.
that's my prayers that book does well for all of you. And I think you've made arrangements that the contributors can get the books
Right.
at the
Cost of
cost
print. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sell them whatever they want to sell them for. So
Absolutely.
that's good. Help Me, I'm Haunted,
Help me, I'm haunted.
co-authored by Annette Munich and myself, with contributors, very talented contributors that have submitted articles that'll appear in the book, and and I'm asking for everybody's support. But we will talk about that a lot um, next Friday on Halloween. So that's our big news for today, and I hope everybody
Yay,
enjoyed the
Susan.
show.
And Susan's here, and also Erica is here. The recipient of her blessing kit is here, and
Did
that's
she
on the
get the
way.
kit yet?
I don't think so. I don't know. She didn't say.
Okay.
She's the one that's her name's Honey on here.
I sent that out a few days ago. I sent you sent you a message to let her know. I went to go fill it for her, and I was out of a couple of items, and I forgot, and I didn't order them, so I had to
Oh,
order them, waited for them to come. And then I like to
she's
do something a little special on my kids.
you did something special for her.
Yeah.
Aw, she said she's in the chat. She said she didn't get it yet. Well,
Okay.
it's coming and it's going to have something special inside. That's very sweet. And
Well,
we got Carl saying, I am Mr. Sasquatch, but I go far beyond that. And we have somebody asking for one of the jokes to finish us off.
oh really? You guys want a joke, huh? Gosh, when's the last this
We haven't
hat?
done that for a while.
Okay, here we go. Well, if it's not funny, people send me these in, and I do get people want to go. What happened to the jokes? I got my hat is full. All right, ready? What did one wall say to the other?
Oops, you've got me cornered.
Close. I'll meet you in the corner.
Hey, that's the
I'm-
closest I ever got.
Here's another one. Ready?
Okay.
Let me pull another one. This hat is full. My haunted carnival barker hat.
There's only one Father Shawn, people.
Why shouldn't you write with a broken pen?
Why shouldn't you write with a broken pen?
Why shouldn't you write with a broken pen? Because
Why?
because it's pointless.
Oh, it's pointless. Oh my God. Okay, good.
All righty, we better get out of here. I love you. You
Love
know I
you.
do. Thank you for all your hard work. I'm going to
Thanks,
kick you out of here
everybody.
and say goodbye to everybody, and then I'll see you when I see you.
Wishing everybody a great weekend.
See you later. Annette Munich, owner of Stellium Books. If you need to publish a book, reach out to her. If you've written one and you want to know how to get it published, reach out to her. If you haven't started it yet, uh, reach out to her. Thank you to United Public Radio Network for carrying my show, Joe Montaldo, Michelle DeRoche for making that happen. Thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in, because I don't have a show without you guys. Stay tuned for Spirit Switchboard with Carrie Lynn Shellhorn. And remember, brothers and sisters, we may have done what the devil said we did, but we are not who the devil says we are. Take a look at the United States Old Catholic Church. You might be pleasantly surprised. The Old Catholic Benedictines of Immaculate Mary. I'm the spiritual advisor. If you want to be interested in the Benedictines, reach out to me. We'll talk about it. All right, brothers and sisters. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. Good night, Danny. Good night, Jack. Good night, Dog. I love you all. God bless you all in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Peace.